Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimple the Limp, and I am here with one I am very excited to be able to finally review properly for you guys. And I've covered this one a lot. I can't say enough good stuff about this. Assault Sicily 43. They added the Gela beachhead to the name. This is by Wolfgang Klein and Eric Rankle. I have not got to speak with Eric, but I have talked to Wolfgang plenty of times before, and he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Very good guy, and they have really innovated and done some excellent work in the genre of the tactical hex encounter war game. This is by Assault Games and Sound of Drums Games. Excellent job on them working with Sound of Drums now, and they have released it. I originally told them that the preview copy they had sent me was of such a good quality, and it really was. It was such a good quality. I was like, you don't have to worry about sending me a final copy. You've already done enough. And they're like, no, we'll go ahead and send you one. And I was thinking, okay, great, I'll appreciate it. And then it got here, and I'm like, oh my God, I am so glad they sent me the final copy. We're going to talk about the components first off. You can see them behind me as I'm talking. I've got a unboxing the film. That's what you're going to be watching. So you can see all the components of the game. I might interject a few bits from where I unboxed it into the video itself. But when it comes to the components, I don't even know what I can say. Excellent. Just everything across the board is excellent. The rulebook and campaign book, Spiral Bound. Most people are going to Spiral Bound now, which I think Lock and Load was the first ones who did that. And it's an excellent job, because when you have rule books of this size, and especially campaign books of this size and bigger, having it Spiral Bound just makes it so much easier. So many people are going that route, and it really does make a difference. It really does make a difference. A lot of people like the digital. I'm still old-fashioned. I like to have the physical rule book right there in front of me, and them taking the time to have this Spiral Bound is just so appreciated, because it makes it so much easier to read than having that clipped, glued backing instead of the spirals. That's just so good for the players. As far as the rest of the components go, the preview copy I had was already of good quality, and I didn't think that they could really step it up that much, but they did. They stepped it up. They improved it. This is one of the best made hex encounter war games physically that I've ever seen. Now, the box is huge. It is not a standard size box by any means. It's probably 4 inches thick. I'm eyeballing it right now just to make sure. It's not a 3-incher. This is like 4 inches. Big one. And it's chock full of stuff. And at first I thought I was feeling like maps or counter sheets in there. No, some of the player aids are actually mounted. Like your terrain effects chart, that's always usually a cardstock, player aid. No, they mounted those damn things in this game. There's like 3 player aids that are actually cardstock, and the rest of them are freaking mounted. They mounted the player aids. Who does that? Who does that? This is premium quality level across the board with everything that they've done. So the player aids, they're mounted. Most of them. No, there are a couple that are cardstock, like I think the turn sequence and a couple of small, like, little reminder player aids are cardstock, but the rest of them, very good quality, very well done as far as the information that they provide. Once you understand the rules of the game, which are not hard, it's not a hard game to learn. There's a lot you got to understand. They have added some new stuff here in Sicily, but it's not a hard game to learn. But once you understand it, they do have player aids that will allow you to play the game without having to crack the rule book out. You should be able to use those player aids and the information that they provide to figure out whatever scenario, whatever issue you have popping up in front of you. When it comes to the counters themselves, excellent. They're large, they're pre-rounded, you don't have to clip shit. And they all pop out real easy. Actually, you can see it as I'm unboxing the damn thing behind you. So many of them are popping out. And I don't take that as a bad thing. To me, that means that they were cut well enough that they're just holding in there. When I want to punch these things out, I don't want the backing to tear. If it's ghost cut, like a shitty cut pizza, these are not. They're all cut very well. They pop out extremely easily. And what do you do with those counters, right? What do you do with them? You're going to see it here at the end of the unboxing, but there is a tray for everything in this game at the bottom of the box. So all of those counters, all of the admin, all the cards, all the dice, all the tokens, everything that you need goes in the bottom of the box. And then you have a little tray, a little plastic sheet you put across top of it. All the map tiles fit on top of that. So all your tokens, everything go on the bottom, has a cover for it. And then you put your mounted maps on top of that. And then your player aids and your rulebooks and stuff. This game is designed so everything goes back into the box easily. And when you're ready to pull it out the next time, you don't have to worry about doing the little baggy shuffle like a damn drug dealer that I have to do with so many of my war games. And that's one of the things I hate the most when I'm pulling a game out. And okay, I'm playing scenario 3. This is my order of battle. I need these units and these units. And it's like, crap, I got to pull out the little baggie, dump out the little baggie, figure out what units I need, put those to the side, put everything back in the other baggie. No. And even with counter trays work, but that's your own organization. This has built-in counter trays. Built-in counter trays. Mounted player aids, built-in counter trays. I mean, they really have just done everything to make the quality of life for the player as good as it possibly can be for this game when it comes to the components. Excellent. But what about the game itself? What about the game? Well, now I've covered the game before, so it shouldn't be hard to understand that I like this game. This game is excellent. It plays well solitaire, it plays well heads up. I've got a versus game that I played with Wolfgang himself on my channel. Make sure you go check that out. We played Assault Sicily 43. And if I remember right, I think I won at the end of the game. Like, it came down to that last, if I can take this point, then I win. If I don't take the point, then he wins. Very, very intense game. Very fun game. He was walking me through it. But the gameplay is excellent, and they innovated in so many different areas. For me, I get tired of the same old with dice. You've got a D6 or 2D6, and then you roll it, and you compare it in your combat result. No, none of that happens in this game. Here, all the counters are clean. It has a picture of a unit, and that's it. You have your facing. And you might have some hearts telling you what the amount of hit points the unit has left, but that's pretty well it. When it comes to the units themselves, they're all just clean looking. You don't have a very busy counter, and especially a busy counter with a bunch of small numbers on it that you're, what does that say? No, none of that's going on here. All the information for the units are located on a card. So if you have a bunch of rifle infantry, you only need one card out that gives you the stats for those rifle infantry. And it'll tell you what their defenses are at different angles. Same thing for your vehicles. Different armor values, whether it's front or side or top or rear. And then their different firepower values depending on what they're targeting. Whether it's a hard target like a tank or a soft target like infantry, you'll roll certain dice. And the custom dice are awesome in this game. They're very easy to read. They're color coded based on their strength, with red being the strongest, and if I remember right, blue is the weakest die. And depending on what color they are, they will have varying amounts of symbols on them. Those symbols will tell you whether or not you're getting hits or critical hits, or if you're getting suppression put onto the enemy. So you want to get, as many modifiers as you can, extra firepower going down. But in this game, you can get a lot of defensive modifiers going. There's an opposed die roll, and then the attacker needs to have extra hits left over to actually cause damage to whatever the target is that they're firing at. It seems a little busy at first, but once you get into it, it is very intuitive. It's very easy to understand. You do whatever your attack roll is, big got your modifier spam. These are the dice you roll, and then you roll the defensive dice. You compare the results, and that's it. On top of that, this game has added a lot of stuff that wasn't in the first Assault game. Things like air raids, new offboard and onboard artillery options, the ability to change the terrain through like a cratering system so you can actually cause craters on the map. There's little counters that you can put on your map to represent that. So clear terrain might suddenly become defensive terrain because you bomb the hell out of it. Maybe you shellac a building and tear it down. But you're going to have those cards that I was just mentioning to represent all your different units, have its stats on the front, and then on the back of the card, whatever special rules are going to apply. It does make the game take a little more table space because all your information isn't represented on the counters, and you are going to have those cards off to the side. For me, I find it easier to line the cards up, especially when I'm using the command token system. That way I can put the command tokens on the cards as I issue the orders out. However, when it comes to the units of this game and the replayability factor, they really did nail it. All the different scenarios, the different missions in the campaign book, they're not static, right? So other games that you play, it says the Americans are the defenders and the Germans are the attackers, or vice versa, or whatever. It's not like that in this game. In this game, you have, the blue guys are attacking and the green guys are defending. And they have certain formations that are going to be in it. And those formations are divided up in a handful of different things. There's some extras like the air raid, but basically you're going to be looking at like armor, artillery, and infantry as your main options. All the different units will be represented by these formation cards. So if you have a armored formation card, it might list down 2 or 3 tanks and maybe a couple of infantry. Or if you've got an artillery card, it might have some AT guns, or it might have some AA options and some orders and some infantry. That card is going to have a selection of units on it that you're going to have for it. You can choose or randomly select the cards for each one of the missions. So your order of battle for all your missions is not static. It will change. It can vary in multiple different ways. We've got 3 different factions in this game: Americans, Italians, and Germans, right? So multiple different factions, no static order of battle, and it's not static with the attacker and defender. That means that this mission can be played, right, with the Americans attacking and the Germans defending, and you randomly pick those formation cards. Well, you can play the same mission and have them reverse sides and draw new formation cards, and the mission will play completely different than it just did. So you have a massive amount of replayability with each one of the scenarios, each one of the missions that's in the campaign book. And there are a buttload of missions in that campaign book. You will never find yourself playing this game and thinking, I've played through all the missions. There's really no reason to play it again. I've kind of played it out. You're never going to have that. It's almost unending replayability. To be able to play out all the potential possibilities, it would take you years of just back to back playing through it to get through all the different possibilities, with having them be able to play either side, different formation cards, being able to change up what units are there. No mission is ever going to play the same. And I can't give them enough accolades for giving that amount of replayability into a game like this. Hex Encounter tactical war games need to have that replayability to keep their player base. So yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, Assault Sicily 43, it's a premium game. This is top shelf. Okay, so you're bellying up to the bar. You want the good stuff. You want the shit with the dust on the bottle that everybody can't get. That's where you're drawing this one from, right? This is not bottom shelf shit. It has the best components. It has some of the best rules that I've seen in a tactical war game. It's at the top of my list, right? I've got a handful of games that are just all-time favorites, and it's hard to break into that. And Assault did that from its first go around, and they improved everything in this go around. They didn't just take good and make it great, they took great and made it awesome sauce. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much Assault Sicily 43 costs, but you're probably going to pay a penny for it, but you'll get your money's worth. I can guarantee you that. If you like hex and counter tactical games, this is one you don't want to miss. You really don't want to miss one. Best components, best gameplay, lots of replayability, good looking game. It just looks good on the table, right? It has pretty much everything going for anything that you could want in a game like this. It's probably got. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm definitely going to have to give Assault Sicily 43 a top shelf out of 10. All right, that's going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure you go check out the game, and I will catch you guys in the next one.